we all do it for the love of the music at the end of the day. It's like, that's who we are.
Told me leave my feelings in the streets. Said money will make me happy and make me free. Said money will make me happy and make me free. Like a weed. Told me leave my feelings in the streets. Said money will make me happy and make me free. Said money will make me happy and make me free. Make me free.
Apprehensive when I call, bro. Sometimes I just wanna know if you're cool, bro.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, of course.
How are you?
I'm happy to have been asked. I'm just like, yeah, I feel honoured. No, I'm good. I'd say the last couple of months has been hard for me, just because I'm used to just being here, there, everywhere, travelling, like in the office all the time, seeing people all the time, gigs, music, studio. As much as last year, it was quite nice because I've never spent that much time at home. I just want normal life back again now. It's like it's too much of the same. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm good. I'm as good as I'm gonna be right now. Obviously, 2020 was
hard.
It was difficult, but we did some amazing things.
We just didn't let any of it stop us.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that was that was a big part of why 2020 wasn't bad for me. Do you know what I mean? It was very like, I felt very grateful for what we had achieved and what we had done and what we did build. Do you know what I mean? But then at the same time, like I lost my grandma last year in April, to the virus and all of that stuff, and it was hard to process. I saw my dad again for the first time in about 13 years. Do you know what I mean? It was a lot to process whilst trying to kind of build and promote and push an album. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was a very pivotal year for my entire life, not just necessarily that year. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't isolated to that year at all. It very much made me think about my whole life. And you were a big part of that.
Look at the proofs and captions.
Told me leave my feelings in the streets. Said money will make me happy and make me free. Let's go back to before you were part of any label or any situation.
That seems like a long time.
Yeah. Talk to me about who Baby Blue is.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean, well, when I was in school.
I think we got drinks coming actually.
Oh,
Chrissy! Yes, please, before you even start.
Oh, nice.
My G Chrissy with the drinks.
That looks nice. Thank you.
Already.
Wow, so pretty. Thank you.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Chrissy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice. Lovely.
A1. As always.
Yeah, so I was in school and I had friends that were in a rap group and they were like, so this is I was like 14 and they were like, we need a female.
14?
Yeah, they were like, we need a female for our crew. Like we need the Lil Kim or like the Foxy to our crew.
Sick.
So I was like.
Is that how they posed it to you?
Yeah, that's how they
so
came
sick.
to me.
I love that.
And I was like, but I don't rap. Like, and they were like, but just try it.
Yeah.
And then.
Oh, so you weren't actually rapping before you joined?
Not at that age, no. Like I was a hip hop fan. I was really into my hip hop, but I wasn't rapping. And then they were like, why don't you try something? Like, why don't you write 8 bars? Why don't you? And then I wrote this song about my cousin who'd been killed. And everyone was like, oh my God, this song is amazing. Like, you need to do something with this. And I was like, I was really shy. And I was like, I don't know. And I gave the CD, it was CDs at the time, flipping out.
I think it's so mad that we don't use CDs. But anyway, go on, continue.
I just gave the CD to a few different like DJs and people and it just had this amazing reaction and I started getting plays on like Choice FM, which is obviously now Capital Extra. And then Estelle, who at the time was like, she was kind of coming up in the UK scene, like she'd done a couple of mixtapes and like people were talking about her a lot. She heard some of my stuff and then she was like, I want you to come on the road with me.
Let's just establish this. This is Estelle, as in the singer that collaborated with Kanye West on American Boy, of course.
That same Estelle. So I did stuff with her and that was amazing for me. And then I just sort of started making my own music and got signed to a record label and, you know, like had a bit of a run with it. But it just never was for me. Like I did some amazing things. Like with you, it's for you. Yeah. This is definitely for you.
Yeah.
With me, it was like, this isn't quite right. This is like,
okay.
I loved being in the studio. I loved writing music, but I didn't love the rest of it.
I mean, I didn't know you fell into it like that. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know you. I just assumed for everything I've heard. I can just envision you in the baby blue tracksuit, the velour tracksuit, in a car park.
In a car park?
I think it was a car park. Maybe.
What was that
or maybe
from?
it was on the street side. I don't know. I can't remember. But it was because it was so long ago. I was young. I was a kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For those that don't know, this is Rachel Prager, and she's the catalyst and the woman that signed me to Seven Wallace. She's the head of Seven Wallace's label, which is founded by Idris Elba. So we work very closely together. We haven't actually done this, but give me your credits. I wanna know your credits.
My credits as an artist?
What have you, no, as an A&R now?
Oh, if I go back 10 years, I decided, so this kind of time I was thinking, okay, I don't really want to be an artist anymore. What do I want to do? I definitely want to work in music. That's all I know and care about. So actually Estelle's been very integral in my story.
Big up Estelle.
Yeah,
do you know what I found out recently about Estelle actually? She's the voice of Garnet for Steven's Universe.
Exactly, yeah.
That's insane.
She's doing so much stuff at the time, that you wouldn't know she's doing.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. And again, with the autonomy of what you're capable of doing.
So around that time I spoke to her because I was finding it tough because I was an artist. You're not really taken seriously as an artist when you're like trying to transition to the other side of it. So then I said to her, you know, like I just need an internship. Like I was like 22, 23. I was like, I just want to start at the bottom. Did an internship at Bad Boy, which for me was like, oh my God, this is the label that made Biggie. Like this is incredible. I was there for about a year and then I was hired by Estelle. Okay, so it's like Estelle was like,
wow.
But at this time, American Boy was massive, and I was just working for her, helping her out with everything on the road.
Yeah,
you know,
she was very integral to your.
Yeah, she was.
To your transition.
She really was. Yeah,
let's say.
She was. But I knew Idris from when I was an artist.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know Idris.
Knew, well, I mean, I didn't know you knew him from when he was an artist.
Yeah. I've known Idris for years.
How did you two meet?
He got in touch through my manager at the time.
Where are we? What year are we in right
This
now?
must be, I feel like it's 10 years ago, like roughly.
2011.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And he got in touch and he was like, I want to work with you. At the time, The Wire was on TV, but I hadn't watched it. So I didn't know who he was. Yeah. So I was like,
what?
Okay, like.
You didn't know who Idris was?
At the time, yeah, because it was like, I remember my friend saying, oh, string a bell. But I hadn't watched The Wire yet.
Yeah.
So he was just, we just did sessions and like, he was just so passionate about it. And I respected that. And then we just kept in touch over the years and here now I am working for him.
Damn.
But yeah, it's like.
And now you're the head of his label.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Congratulations, first and
foremost.
Thank you. You get me? I don't think I've ever actually said that to you, but.
Thank you.
I mean, we've been working together for a minute now, but I don't think I've actually ever said like, proper sat down and spoke to you about it properly, do you know what I mean? And just kind of congratulated you on what you've been able to do. And not many people have been able to make that transition quite as cleanly as you. Do you get me? I get to realise.
Thank you. It doesn't feel clean at all.
I mean,
I appreciate
it would never. Do you know what I mean?
It feels like a mess.
Yeah, I mean, it would. It would never feel clean to you, but like from the outside, I think, and looking at it, I mean, I wouldn't have signed with you lot for no reason. Do you know what I mean? And I think the attention to detail and the consideration and probably the experience and wisdom that you have as an artist shines through in what you do as an A&R and as a label head, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, it's like, I think I said this to you once, I always feel really conflicted because I know what it feels like to be an artist, to have people trying to, or people having an opinion that you don't necessarily agree with or getting involved in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. I understand what that feels like, but I also understand what it's like to be on the other side. So I always feel really like conflicted about how I say things or, always wanting to be honest because I think it's really important to have honest relationships, but, like not wanting to overstep the mark.
Yeah.
Do you know
and
what
that's
I mean?
literally the words I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
And let me just say now, I don't think you've ever like overstepped the mark. I think we've both gotten to points where, and this is what happens in relationships that matter, I think. Do you know what I mean? I think we've both gotten to points where we were both super passionate about what we wanted to achieve with the same thing. Do you get me? With the same song or the same product, which is right now is just the album, which is The Worst Generation. Do you know what I mean? But I think the work that you've put into kind of spreading the message and getting it where it needs to be and showing and kind of fighting my corner. I don't care about being seen in a certain light or anything like that. I just care about creating good content and good art and good music in whatever capacity.
I think that is like one of the magical things about you, that it's like, this is me, is kind of like take it or leave it. And I think that's the only type of artist I could work with. Yeah. Because otherwise it's like, what do you have if you're just swaying with the wind? You have to, like, this is me, take it or leave it. Like, I don't care if we have to have an argument.
Yeah,
this is who I am.
Do you know what it is? I think that's based on the fact that I'm just like, I can't not love people who are invested in my thing. I think we've definitely been through enough now to understand each other. Do you know what I mean? And to understand where we stand and how we would react to certain things and how to speak to each other and how to build. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? What
it is when you are that type of artist that's not going to be like swayed by anything or influenced by people at a record label, it can be quite. I've had times where I've thought I really don't want to be restrictive to Che, because like he really knows who he is, and like I've sometimes wondered if like what I'm saying is actually inhibiting you in some way, and that's been a worry for me, because I think it's so great that you're so, you know, take it or leave it, this is me. But then in other ways, as a label, you're always going to have to like make your point and say your thing about streaming and whatever formats and like whatever it is.
I mean, before we continue, I'm going to give you this. So that's a canvas for you.
Thank
I got
you.
one.
Oh wow, okay.
How confident are you at drawing? I feel like this is the theme. How confident are you at drawing?
Not at all.
Cool. So you can either use the pencil first and then go over it, and it has to be finished in pen. So you either use the pencil first and feel it out and then do the pen, or you could just go pen first.
I'll start with the pencil, yeah. Cool. I think I need that.
I'm going to start with the pen.
Okay.
I think it's important to show people who you are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it's important to understand as an artist that you should be able to show your label who you are. Do you get me? Ultimately.
I've already messed up.
You've already I mean, there's another one there just in case you've always got one on the side just in case you mess up.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, you sure, yeah?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Cool. So, yeah, I think it's important to be able to have this kind of conversation with the person who's invested, who's done their best to invest in your career. Do you know what I mean? Again, like I've said it before, and I'm happy and proud to say it again. Like there was more money elsewhere. You know what I mean? If we're talking practically and candidly, there was more money elsewhere for much less songs, and I didn't want that. You know what I mean? I made a conscious decision that we didn't want to go where the bag was at that time. The bag will come when we create good work and we put love and time and energy into it. We wanted to go where we felt respected, and where we felt the music would get as much attention. Do you know what I mean? Time and attention and consideration as possible. And I don't think there was any better home for it than Seven Wallace. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's so good to hear. No, I want to thank you for trusting us as well with your baby, you know.
Yeah, like, man. I want to go where I personally feel comfortable and safe. And I think seven is definitely that place. Do you know what I mean? So
that is so good to hear. And I think I said to you at the time, it's like it's quite hard for me to be impressed.
Yeah, you have. Like, you said that to me a few times, actually.
Yeah, you know, Seven Wallace isn't as a small independent label. Like, we're a small team. We have to all work really hard. Like, we're just all constantly on our grind. Like, last year there were just times where I was at my desk at 5 a.m. and I was there until 2 a.m. the next morning. Like, it was crazy. Like, the whole team, we just have to work hard. That's all we can do, because we're not, you know, we don't have like 1,000 people worldwide.
These men feel like they really care about it and they really want it. Do you know what I mean? And not only do they want it, but they respect it. Do you know what I mean? Not because it's got a hype around it or because it's the most popping thing at this time, but because they see what it could become. Do you know what I mean? And they see what it is currently and where it belongs. Do you know what I mean? And I think those are the things that really resonated with me in the earlier stages, like in those really embryonic stages of our relationship.
Yeah, and that's
made
what it was.
Clear to me that it was the home.
Like it has to feel like an actual partnership, and it has to feel like everyone's on the same page, and we all do it for the love of the music. At the end of the day, it's like that's who we are. That's who Idris is. It's like it's all about the love of the music. You always know what you want in almost every situation. Yeah. So it's like I was just so impressed by that, and it just felt like good synergy. It was just like it just felt like a good situation for us and you. I think it just felt like it fit. So it just meant the world to me that you decided to go with us, even though you had other stuff on the table.
I just wanted to go with the people that I think were most considerate of who I wanted to be. Do you get me? And respective of the space that I needed to create. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be somewhere that made the most sense for me and where I was.
And you said in your song, "Go where the love is."
Do you get it?
And that's the thing. I've heard that before, but it's like you have to figure out, okay, where does it feel right? Yeah. It's not most of the time about the money, because you know, like there are companies that just want to snap up loads of stuff.
Many companies that want to snap up loads of stuff.
Yeah,
and
just to see what happens.
You a lot of things that aren't actually the reality of how the workflow will go.
It's kind of like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. As an artist, it was important for me to feel like a priority. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm putting my heart and my soul into this. And I can't do that and somebody take a week to get back to me when they've just signed me, or when this situation isn't going well and they've stopped kind of responding to me in the time that they were in the beginning because they thought the novelty would carry it. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't any novelty around what I was doing. It's just continuous, consistent work and quality. Talk me through your experience of what it means to develop an artist and what you look for. You get me? What do you look for in your relationship with the artist's music? And even let's talk about some of the other people on the label as well.
In terms of what I look for, I think nowadays it's really important that the artist has vision. Like me and you have talked a lot about vision, and a lot of the times you say like, but this is my vision. Like everything has to make sense in terms of my vision. I don't think I know that there are lots of artists out there that kind of need that to be sculpted and sort of need people to figure that out with them. But for me personally, I think I really want to work with artists that have that vision, that are just like, this is what I'm trying to achieve. This is who I am.
Thank you. And I think that there's a huge miseducation. I don't want to say misconception, but I think there's a huge miseducation because people think they know what it means to be with a label. Do you know what I mean? I see our relationship as, in terms of its professional standing, as a partnership. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? In most of the capacities outside of the personal ones. And I think it's also important to highlight that your career actually, in a lot of ways, starts when you find your team. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can have your management, you can have an agent, and you can make it work with pretty much anything. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, like for me personally, I know the work started, and I've heard some of my favorites and some of the greats say that the work starts when you get the money, because then it's more important to be. It's so much more important to be who you are. Yeah. At that point. And I've kind of realized like it's actually, and I've seen people win awards, do you know what I mean? And and the first people they're thanking are God and their team. Because without them it wouldn't be possible. And now I realize how much it takes. 7 champions me. Do you know what I mean? That's
what makes stuff happen.
Exactly.
Really, that passion.
And I don't think I would have got that. At that time, I don't think I would have got that anywhere else. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think
you're right. It's that the team, obviously, you know, it all starts with the artist, but the team is, I always, and I think we had this conversation before, I always think of like, as an artist, you're kind of like, even though you go into the studio and you do your creative thing and you go into your zone, but then you're also kind of the CEO of your brand.
Yeah.
And you're managing people, and you've like kind of got staff that you have to coordinate. And like, especially with you, because you're so involved with everything. Some artists will be like, I don't want to be in the planning meeting, but you're there in the planning meeting.
I'm just into it. I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy that side of it, and I think it's important. So I just hope that we continue to create great things. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I've sent you new music.
Yeah, which
there's
I love.
New music on the way.
Oh, I love it. I got really excited. Like, we're going again. Like,
I'm so happy. Cheers.
Cheers. No, it's really good. Like, I think it's great that you're as involved as you are.
I think I've done all right here. Just to conclude.
I don't think I've done all right.
I don't think this I don't know. You be the judge. I'll let you be the judge.
I wanted to ask you something.
Go on.
What do you want to say with the next project?
Exclusive. One of the first things from one of the first lyrics that I wanna lead with from this new project is, this year my love language is affirmations and checks.
I heard that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of a remix of let's just go where the love is, but just in a more current sense. You get me? Like, so I'm gonna give you this, and you're gonna give me that.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. We'll turn over. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God! You're actually quite talented.
Thank you. I don't think it looks like you, but. Yeah, love.
No, but like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's got its own style.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like I'm wearing one of those airplane pillows.
That was meant to be your hood, but. Cool, so this is it. This is it, guys. I think she did a pretty good job.
Let me see.
I think she did a pretty good job. All right.
It's not.
I think it's pretty decent. Hit that camera with yours. Put your face next to it, innit? I think I did all right.
Yeah, no, you did good. I like it. There's something to it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming.
Mine looks like a kid drew it. Oh, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, man.
Oh,
yeah, and much more to come.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Outside of being an artist.
Exactly.
Do you get me? London boy can still catch a sink now. So American boy. I'm waved.
I was like, sorry. I'm not going to correct you this time. I'll let you roll with the London boy.
American boy. We're going to edit it out in post. Maybe.
I got a brother that was moving the bits and he got one in his arm, but luckily he got him moving again. I got a brother that got hit in the belly. First week they had him talking already, but I was losing my I got a brother that got hit in the neck for another brother. He was trying to protect a thorn rose is a beautiful thing. Still it comes with a few little pricks, but this money might make me free.